to Shantana and Jeremiah. I see you, boy. Hold it down. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantana, DJ Jeremiah. Okay, today's topic is very interesting. My wife found this. It's like a panel that was I don't even know where they are. Where is this? Some college, I guess. And they had a panel. It was a bunch of Christian leaders, and they brought up the topic of reformed hip hop. And it's a segment of Christian hip hop. Basically, the guys, Triple E, all of them, they're considered reformed rappers, right? So they brought it up, and I'm gonna try and play this audio. I don't know if it's gonna work, so bear with me. Let's see if this works. Listen to what they're saying about Christian hip hop.
I'd like you to speak very distinctly about it, and I got a number of questions like this, and it goes like this: any thoughts on reformed rap artists? I'll start with you, Dan. I want to run down that line. But I'm not finished with the question quite yet. Any thoughts on reformed rap artists? And then the person names a few of them, and he says their musical styles would be considered offensive to some, but the doctrine contained within the songs is sound.
And I would be very against reformed rap, and let me tell you why. Words aren't enough. God cares about how we deliver the message. And there's two aspects of delivery, right? The purpose of songs is to instruct. It's also to praise God. It's also to worship. But it's to instruct and to admonish. We're given the words, because we're a word-based religion, the emphasis needs to be on the words. And just having good words is not enough. The question is, where is the emphasis? And I would argue with the rap, with the heavy beat, with those things, that the physical distraction is so much that the focus is no longer on the words. And music should be about helping us to remember concepts that we need to remember and help us to carry forward. Music is a wonderful tool as a memory aid. Rap's not that good for that because of the other problem with rap. The problem with any other form of music is, who's the attention drawn to? And rap is about drawing attention to the rapper, drawing attention to how his skill is different than anybody else's skill, how he is this special person. The proper preacher, I remember a story about Martin Lloyd-Jones, where a guy hears that this is the best preacher he's ever heard. He tells his friend, and the guy walks in and says, this guy's not going to be that good. And he listens for 15 minutes, and he says, hey, this guy isn't as bad as I thought he would be. He listens for another 15 minutes, and he says, actually, this guy might be the best preacher I ever heard. He listens for another 15 minutes, and he says, wow, this guy is just a phenomenal preacher. I can't believe that this guy is this good of a preacher. And then he listened for another 15 minutes and said, I can't believe what a marvelous God I serve. That's what all preaching needs to be. It needs to be to move the attention away from you and towards God. Otherwise, it's about you. And my problem with reform rap is I think in the end it's always about the rapper.
Unloving, Brother Beaky, but I believe rap is the death rattle in the throat of a dying culture. And I think also that we must not use music in the worship of God where the words get lost in the music. And all people hear is the music.
Wow. Okay. So I had to think on my feet real quick because I didn't know how that was gonna work out. Sorry, I had to jerry-rig that. But yeah, man, that's what they're saying about Christian hip hop. What y'all think?
I guess you could kind of see where they're coming from, but at the end of the day, when it comes to reform gospel rap, it's just it's a lane. I mean, there's so many different avenues and ways to preach and raise the level of the gospel and how to get people to reach a mass of people. Everybody's not going to be attentive to just the preacher. Everybody's not going to be attentive to just the person on the street who's screaming at the top of their lungs on a mic on a corner. Like everyone has their lane. We have to gravitate. I feel we have to gravitate to many different levels. So I feel like rap is just a level of a demographic that can reach a particular people. whether it be young or whether it be old. I mean, it's a lot of people who are like old school church who really didn't believe into the whole Christian rap and that, but until they opened their ears to actually listen, it was just like, oh my God, here goes same thing the preacher is saying, but just to a beat, and I could dance, so I can move to it and enjoy it in a different lane of just the early Sunday morning preaching. You know, it's just a different lane. I think it still reaches the masses. I remember I was a part of an organization that put an event together. We're called Joshua Generation back in my church. It's a youth event, a youth explosion. And, you know, a lot of kids don't want to sit in church and listen to the preacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, even in my church, like, it's times that the kids will be more attentive when I'm up there preaching on Youth Sunday than when our bishop, who's really bringing it. But it's like, it's just, they can feel, they feel comfortable. So you just bring a different element to it. That's all I think.
One thing we didn't get a chance to get to was one of them said that Christian rappers are cowards. Yes. That we conform to the culture instead of changing the culture. They just said that we were cowards, and they actually called us disobedient cowards. Mm-hmm. What y'all think?
Them sound like fighting words. No.
Put a beat on.
If Prince William, what up? If he's right, if we're not trying to change people's lives, at the end of the day, the gospel music, gospel, Christian, whatever you want to, any music you want to call it, well, Christian and gospel, if it's not to give God glory, then we wasted our time. You know what I mean? We might as well just be positive hip hop music. And what he's saying is the truth. Is like, if you're not willing to, if your music is not going to change somebody, if it's just to make somebody like, oh, okay, it was okay, then it could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying there's no room for people to hear good music and good uplifting music. But if you're going to say, yo, I'm a Christian rapper, then that's probably what they're saying. Like when they look at us, they're not looking at us like a revival is happening. You know, every time these people come in town, these people are changing lives and they're turning their back on sin. But now it's looking like, from our cultural standpoint, people are like, from just a lot of stuff that we do, they're looking like, you guys are trying to do songs with people, y'all are not trying to change nobody, you just saying that you're cool with them, you're trying to mentor them, but at the same time they're still doing their life. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody could easily say, I don't want to use Lecrae, because I think it's just the verbiage, but I mean, from their point of view, if they said something about like B.O.B., like, you did a song with him, is his life change, or is it just what? You know what I'm saying? Like, from their perspective. So,
right. Now, my question is more so, is this their place to talk about, or is this our place to talk about? You see what I'm saying? They don't understand our culture in the slightest. Yeah. So that's what we're here for, to help people, guide people through this whole thing and say, hey, this is what you should do. Because they didn't say some people are doing it right and some people aren't. They said it's just the music is faulty, period. Yeah. Is that okay to say?
Well, someone did say on the panel that I know you didn't get a chance to play the whole thing, but someone did bring that point up as far as not necessarily being familiar with the culture enough to see the positive influences of it, or how someone could be positively affected by it. And so I think to his point and to yours, that there should be people that are actually a part of or more familiar with the hip hop culture that actually speak to it.
On the panel.
Yeah, on the panel, absolutely, because they all looked alike, sounded alike.
Basically.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, is this really a panel, or is this like,
I'm gonna say something real crazy. I'm sorry.
Don't say it.
Anyway, but they did bring up valid points. I think for us, we should consider it a challenge as people that are charged with, being a part of the Christian hip hop industry to take it a step further, to life transformation, to actually reaching people and changing lives, and not just, entertaining, or, to making it totally God focused instead of, people focused. So I would consider it a challenge more than anything.
Yeah, I think most of the stuff is loosely based to me. I think some of the things that they are speaking about have been experiences they haven't seen, or what they seen in the regular like hip hop culture itself. For me, I just think some of the people, and I think even on the email we had earlier, I think it's somewhat, there were good points. Some points of it were fabrication to me, some points I just flat out didn't agree with. But at the same time, it's coming from that and being an artist and trying to make music that can change people's lives. Now, I do agree with you, Chris, when you said that, or Jeremiah, when you said that, if that's not what we're doing, then those people are absolutely right. I think if we can look at ourselves and look at our lives, I think that is a different way of being able to reach a different generation, a different type of people. These guys, pastors, whatever they may be, I feel like see Christians only in one way. This Christian has to look this way, has to walk like this, talk like this, and if you don't do these specific things, I can't necessarily call you a Christian. If you don't look like me, there's a problem. And these are the people, the certain people that will miss out on people's lives and miss out on the being able to spread the gospel because you'll be looking at someone and judging them because they don't look like you. They're the same people that won't be able to speak to someone who has a sleeve of tattoos on both of their arms but believes in God to the fullest. That those people will walk into heaven, but these people will be able to miss that because of the judgments and the part that they won't speak to these type of people because they feel like they're only called to speak to Christians like themselves that look like them, talk like them. And I make fun of it sometimes, and I call it the Romney syndrome because his way of thinking is similar to what they think. If you don't look like me or talk like me, then we ain't got nothing to talk about.
Is this not racial? Because I mean, it's cute what you guys are saying. Like, no, I'm saying like it's if that was the case, if it was just we need to step our game up. But that's not what they're saying. They're saying that the beat in itself is wrong. The whole culture is wrong. The clothes are wrong. Everything about this is wrong. They're saying that we shouldn't be doing this music, period. This is not a get your life right, do better. This is a stop doing it, you guys are wrong, period.
Yeah.
Well, let me say, I heard undertones of that because I've been redeemed in this area. Hallelujah. The Lord is, I refuse to, engage in certain areas when it comes to conversations like this. But anyways, I will ask, though, the fact that they referenced Toby Mac versus a Lecrae, do you think that was, more in this direction of race or further from the direction of race? You know what I'm saying? The fact that they honed in on Toby Mac versus a Lecrae.
It seems like what they're scared of is that their kids are going to imitate the rappers, especially a Toby Mac who looks like them. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So having this, you see what I'm saying? So they associate our culture. They even talked about the origins of rap and all that kind of stuff. And the crazy thing is a lot of what they're saying is not wrong. It's just let us do that. But it's not. It's like you kind of stepping outside your place a little bit.
Well, let me say, okay,
a white man can put it down on us like
sure
that?
He can, but if you're gonna talk about something that has nothing to do with you, have somebody there that knows what it is.
But that person would have. I was about to say.
It would have got ugly.
Well, the clean version, they would have felt jumped. Yeah. If it was one person.
Yeah.
I would have had no problem being there.
But anyway.
4-1, right?
I would have had no problem.
Let me say this though. Since we hey Alfie, we miss you, girl. Where you at? I was just playing. Hold it down, hold it down. No, let me ask. Since we are having an opportunity to speak on it right now, primarily I want to hear from the men, especially because there was a statement of the duty of raising up Christian, godly men. Do you feel like hip hop can be a tool or resource to do that? If so, how? But basically, you know what I'm saying? This is your opportunity to be that panel to speak on that. What would y'all say, if anything, different?
And maybe this is a panel that we actually need to have. Like, maybe the Trackstarz need to host something like this so where we could talk about what's going on in our community. Because I think the conversation is a good conversation to have. Yeah. I just think it's coming from a place of insensitivity that I think is going to fall on deaf ears. The reason we do this radio show and the reason we do the music that we do is because we're trying to reach people who that's all they know. And this dude, ain't no way this dude gonna reach any of the people that we talk to. Yeah. Not a chance. Yeah. So, he could say anything he wants to, but he's not. And there was one guy on the panel that had a leveler head. I would love to talk to him because he seems like he understands that there's a, not that guy. Not that, the guy before that guy. Yeah. He seemed to have some sense. He seemed to realize that there was some insensitivity here. And the transition that they're expecting kids to make from the culture they grew up in to putting on a suit and singing Kumbaya in church it's not going to happen in a day. And we need to be here to help them through that transition.
Let me ask you a question real quick. And I guess this goes with what we're talking about. Have y'all ever heard a rap song? It could be from us or whatever that changed your life. Like change. I'm not talking about change your life to be like I want to get more knowledge, but change your life like okay.
Well, that's hard to say because no rap song has ever changed my life, secular or non-secular. I think the change that happens through music is subtle, it's gradual over time.
I think there's some songs that you can listen to that would say, you know what, I agree with that, man. It puts me there's some songs that I've listened to that were like I started praising and worshiping in the car. Just like, because there's a parts of the songs that are singing, rapping, whatever. There's 2 songs on the Craze last album. What was it called? Gravity. There's one with Molly Music called Tell the World, and there's another one with Rudy Currents. I don't know the name of that song, but the second verse of the Rudy Currents song and the first verse of the Molly Music song, I will rewind that back and play it 10, 15 times, because what he's talking about is really, to me, in essence of believing in who God is, and it's a lifestyle change. And I think at the end of the day, even when I heard those verses, it was just like, man, he sees God totally different, and the way that he sees how much he owes God because of what by sending his son Jesus and to die for us, and it's like there's nothing else that I want to do with my life than to please you, because I owe you that. That's the least I can give you is my life. And I felt like those 2 songs alone, like I could listen to those 2 songs daily. And I think even with those rap songs, so I think the people like this who try to speak and say, you know, you've conformed to the world, I think that's nothing more than I want you to conform to what I'm doing. If you don't, back to saying, if you don't serve God like I serve God, then you're conforming to the world. But at the same time, you're not in the hood that these rappers are going into. You're not on the street corners where people, these crackheads and these dope heads are trying to look for something and have no avenue. You will never know those people because of the way that you think and the way that you look at the world. We were called to reach certain people, just like the people he's supposed to reach. I'm supposed to reach somebody different, as just like Jeremiah's supposed to reach somebody different. If I don't speak to them and live my life the way that I feel that God is telling me to live my life, I will not reach those people. And if I think the way these guys think, and I will only speak to older white men who have money and who preside over a church or something like that, when that's not what God is telling me to do. I love all of my children. I need you to speak to whoever you're called to in your sphere of influence. And that's what, as a rapper, as an artist, as a singer, that's what I'm trying to do. And that's the essence of the Great Commission to me. And what God says, I need you to reach my people, my body. If I'm not the person I am, if I can't throw a fitted on or a polo and some sneakers and go speak the word of God, then I'm missing out on what God truly wants me to do. Because if I want to throw on a suit and go talk to, you know, rich white people, then, you know, maybe that's who I'm called to do, and then maybe that's who he's called to talk to. But he's not going to understand a culture that he knows nothing about, and you can't really try. And I feel what you're saying when you say it's hard to try to speak on that when you don't understand it at all. So it's easy to judge when you don't know it.
And I brought race into it. And it's not just race; it's ageism too, because they're talking about the music and they're talking about the beat and how you can't even hear the lyrics because they're going so fast. And it's like you can't hear the lyrics. I can hear them. Yeah. So and what they don't understand is that even the music that they listen to, what they call Christian contemporary music, that they probably love, is a derivative of something that came before it. It's a derivative of the eras, you know, like the Barbra Streisand, Sinatra, all that stuff it influences even Christian music. The David Crowders and all them people have influences from all kinds of music, not just Christian music. Yeah. Christian music wasn't in a silo. We aren't playing harps and trumpets. So the music had influences from outside, from rock and roll, from jazz, from blues, from everything. So the music that he loves, before the generation before him probably hated. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So it seems like ageism. The music that you're used to, you think is acceptable music, and then whatever your kids or grandkids listen to is always going to be offensive to you because you don't get it. So I just think they just got to be careful. I don't mind, because there are some points in there that we have to address. We have to address the pride. We have to address the idolatry that we have to certain artists, because we even talk about that when Line for Line challenges people's idolatry because they love these artists. But that's not exclusive to hip hop. People idolize Lady Gaga. They idolize Britney Spears. All these artists get idolized. Even I just saw Amy Grant on a show yesterday. And you know what I mean? It's like everybody gets idolized. So it's not just exclusive to our culture. We'll deal with our culture, and we don't mind you commenting on it, but don't make it seem like you know everything that's going on. That's just my only issue with it. That's real. All right, man. Let's get back into some music. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go. For people that agree with me, try not to be self-righteous and judgmental to people who may not get it yet or don't agree with your point of view on it.
It's social club.
So
Yo, this that punch that bully in the face. Music that'll make you say, if it wasn't for His grace, I'd probably have an early grave. Things don't ever go my way, but I'm just getting used to it. Rolling with my renegades, I've been this way since second grade. I'm with a gang again.